Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we are finally going to be working on our flower painting series. This drawing may seem familiar to you as we are working on the gridded flower drawing from a few weeks ago. If you haven't watched that video already, I will leave it linked in the cards above, but in that tutorial I go through and tell you step by step how to draw this flower using a gridded system as you watch me complete the steps from start to finish. In this video, I am showing you how I transfer my own drawings to my final project paper, and I will be talking about several ways that you can transfer your own drawings at home. Keep in mind that while I am using a light table, I have included several tips and ideas for transferring your drawing without one. If you are curious about any of the materials that I'm using in this video, I will have them all linked in the description box down below. Also in the description box is a link to my Patreon page. If you enjoy the videos I make on my channel and would like to see more in-depth tutorials, additional content, or would like to further support my channel, I would appreciate it if you would check it out. As far as my personal workflow goes, transferring my drawings isn't something that I do all the time. I usually only do this with larger pieces, commissions, or anything that I know will be difficult to sketch. The whole purpose for this step for me is to make sure that I will not be damaging the paper my final artwork will be on. In many cases, however, I personally love sketching onto my project paper. I think having the sketch lines available in the finished artwork is a really beautiful way to instantly see the creation of an artwork visually from start to finish. However, there are circumstances where I want my paper to remain as clean and as polished as possible, so this is when I transfer my drawings. The first reason is because personally, when I'm sketching, I like to have my hand directly on the paper. This allows me to work more quickly and intuitively than having a sheet of paper that constantly needs to be moved, and I personally don't enjoy drawing with gloves on. The downside of this is that you always have to worry about your pencil smudging, which can cause your drawing or painting to be darker or more muted than you planned on, unless you take the time to meticulously erase the smudged pencil. Smaller drawings where I'm less likely to have my hand on the paper to smudge the pencil, or for subjects I know will not be negatively impacted by the smudged pencil, are not a big concern for me. Also, when your hand is rested on top of the paper, you're transferring oils from your hand onto the paper. With water-based mediums like watercolor, this can cause odd issues when painting later on, as the oil can repel the watercolor from parts of your paper. Another reason that I choose to transfer a drawing rather than drawing directly on my project paper is that I want to avoid leaving dents, scratches, or other nicks that could cause the medium to not work as needed or as planned. For example, colored pencil. I want to avoid pressing into the paper when sketching, as this can cause areas where the pencil won't be able to come in contact with the indented paper surface, causing white areas in the drawing. So now let's get into some of the ways that you can transfer your own drawings. My favorite way to transfer my drawing is to use a light table. A light table is basically a thin light pad that you can use to illuminate your drawings from the bottom to allow you to transfer your drawings from the top. This is a very clean and easy way to transfer drawings, and it's one that allows you to transfer a drawing while keeping the proper orientation of the image. Another plus side is that if you have drawn your image on your sketch paper and you don't really like the placement of it, a light table allows you to quickly and easily adjust the placement of your image when transferring. I purchased my light table from Amazon, and it was fairly inexpensive off-brand light table. I'm not sure if my specific one will still be available, but I'll make sure to link some similar ones in the description box down below. I like to use a light table because it's clean and easy. The light table means that you don't have to use tracing paper or carbon paper, you don't have to apply graphite to the bottom of your original sketch to transfer, and as a result, the transfer is much cleaner and easier. The downside is that a light table, especially larger ones, can get expensive, and transferring your larger sketches where the paper hangs off the edge can be quite cumbersome, and if not careful, can cause dents and creases in your paper from accidental bending. Now, if you don't have a light table but you like the idea of one, there are other ways to transfer your drawing using a light source. The first being a window. Use a window in your home, school, or even car if you need to transfer your drawings. This works best if you can get a window that faces the sun, but it isn't completely necessary if you don't have a perfect spot. As long as there is decent light coming in, it can work. The second option is to use a device with a screen, like your computer, iPad, or TV. Please keep in mind that this technique should only be used if your screen is hard, like a glass screen. Do not use this technique if your device has a soft screen, as you could very quickly and easily damage it. In this scenario, find a white background and put it up on your screen and turn up the brightness. In all of these, it's best if your interior or room lights are off, but in this example, it's going to be much more important, as these screens are not going to be as bright or as powerful for transferring, especially if you are using thicker paper like watercolor or mixed media paper. Next, if you have a glass desk or coffee table, you could simply put a light directly under your work surface and shine it upwards towards your paper and transfer your drawing that way. The light from the lamp or flashlight placed under your drawing will create the effect of a quick, easy, and DIY light table. In the same vein, if you have a clear clipboard, piece of clear plastic, these can be found at hardware stores, or even a floating picture frame, you can place a light behind them to transfer your drawings to. This may be a bit more cumbersome because you may not have the ability to rest it nicely for a transfer, but if you like the idea of a light table, these are still good options. These options are great because they use what you already have around your home, and they are quick and easy solutions. As a downside, they can be much less effective as a light table with either less light or less efficient lighting, and you may end up with smaller work areas. Next, we will talk about ways to physically transfer your drawings, or in other words, ways that don't use a light source. The first way is to apply graphite to the back of your sketch. Just scribble or rub graphite, which is just your pencil lead, over the entire area where the image is, but on the back of your paper. Don't scribble over your sketch. Once you have covered the entire back of your paper, you place your sketch right side up over your paper. This means that the scribbled side is facing your project paper. Make sure that your sketch is placed correctly, then take a pencil or pen and draw over all of your lines in your sketch. As you trace over all of these lines, the pressure will allow the graphite on the back of the page to transfer your drawing to your new paper. Please keep in mind to try to keep your paper in place to avoid smudging, and try not to rub the paper unnecessarily to transfer excess graphite. If you like that idea but don't like the sound of coloring all over the back of your sketch, then you could also purchase graphite tracing paper. This does the exact same thing, except the graphite is on a separate sheet of paper that goes in between your sketch and project paper. These sheets can easily be reused several times and are much less messy overall than applying graphite to your sketch paper. Lastly, if you wanted an option in between the two, you could apply graphite to a sheet of paper that would go between your sketch and your project paper and use that the same way that you would the graphite tracing paper. This could be easily done on a sheet of regular printer paper, and it would allow you to make your very own reusable graphite tracing paper at home. Do keep in mind though that graphite tracing paper is quite a bit thinner, so if you're using your printer paper at home, that added thickness can cause a little bit of a diminished effect when it comes to transferring your drawings onto your project paper. You may have to push harder onto your lines to transfer it, and you may not want to do that if you have a medium like color pencil or pastel, where your medium may not stick to your paper correctly if it's indented. These options are much cheaper than using a light table, and you can quickly and easily make your own at home with just a pencil and printer paper. It's very effective, and just like the other options, it allows you to transfer your image quickly and in the proper orientation. The downside is that it can be quite messy. Graphite is quite soft and smudges very easily. It's very easy to end up getting graphite on your hands just from handling the paper, and it's easy to end up with unintended transfer onto your project paper, either by pressure or movement from your hand or other unintended marks. So those are just a few ways that you can quickly and easily transfer your drawing at home, many of which could use objects you already have lying around your home or could be done after purchasing minimal items from the store. I personally really love to have a light table for transferring my drawings. It was an investment that I made into my own personal art practice that has been invaluable to a quick workflow. Like I said, I purchased a really inexpensive, generically branded one off of Amazon, but I've had it for a few years now, and it's held up very well. There are several different sizes and features that you can look at that will change the price of a light pad. Basic ones are relatively inexpensive, but larger ones with more features can get kind of pricey. If you are curious about any of the materials that I am using or talking about in this video, please check the description box down below for links. If you liked this video, I would love it if you would like this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with someone who may find it helpful. These are all free and easy ways to support my channel, and they are greatly appreciated. If you like my videos and would like to support my channel further, then Patreon is a great option where you can also get bonus content. I will leave that linked in the description box if you would like to check that out. Feel free to share any of your own tips for transferring your drawings, as I'm sure there are plenty that I haven't tried, and they will be helpful to others who are looking for options that will best suit them. I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!